Hey, this will be a video chart on the Dow Jones Industrial Average. Last week I did the weekly chart. This one I'm going to stay on the daily chart because we're at a very kind of crucial area, and it's been a wild day, as can be seen by this candlestick. And I should note that if you see this moving, that is because the market is still open. We have about 45 minutes left in the day, but I wanted to get this up anyways, just because I'm not really concerned about individually today's action or even the past, 3 or 4 months action. I'm going to be squeezing this chart together a little bit more so we can see more of a longer term pattern. But we're at a very interesting area, and hopefully this is the bottom. Should note that I want to see this volume bar get as big as possible, because if we can get a really big one, maybe then we could start to talk about possibly this being a capitulation type thing where the cause of all this is kind of finally over. Having a high volume day down at the bottom with a candle that hopefully shapes up something like this, whether it be a doji or a spinning top being the real body, is a little bit bigger. But they mean the same thing during a downtrend area like this. So the higher the volume, the better, because then you can start to make a legitimate, a capitulation argument. We're doing pretty well so far with the volume, but if we could get it up to one of these sorts of days or something like that, that would make the chart a little bit more convincing that possibly this is a bottom. So now what I want to do is just pull this chart out a little bit more so we can kind of see what I'm talking about. But really I want to talk about one line today, and that is simply this line right here. And I'm just kind of estimating it because I'll show you the areas that I'm looking at. But the first area is just right over here. You can see that it was a top a bunch of times. So here it was as a resistance. Then you can see right here came down as support again. And then right there came down. And yes, I know that this was just essentially a fat finger trade. But like I've told some people that have asked about it, until the chart is updated, as far as technical analysis is concerned, that is a support level. And just for the conspiracy theorists and me to come out a little bit, that's just so strange how it came down right to this very same area where we had this previous low right here, and this is essentially as low as we've gone. A little bit further we needed to drop today, but this area matches up pretty close to some of these past important areas from a charting perspective. So yes, I am going to count this area as a support just because we did drop down there and bounce off that, but I do know that it wasn't actually, this was essentially a fake day. But now seeing the action, we've essentially repeated what we had back a couple weeks ago, except it's just been more, I guess you could say, organized, because it's hasn't been quite as much as a one-day thing. But really, it comes down to, are we going to be able to hold this area? This area, give or take, is right at about the 98.50. Like I said, you could argue different points, but remember, supports and resistances aren't specific to exact areas or numbers. They are more their areas. So I'm just going to call it 98.50. That's going to be the key area. Today we did go down as low as 99.18, but if this 98.50 area doesn't hold, then my next price target is going to be the 9,500 area, simply because that is another one of these zones where we had some previous resistance, or previous support. You can see that during this pullback here, the price found support, which at that time was where the 50-day simple moving average was, and moved upwards. So hopefully that kind of helps people out. If this 98.50 area does not hold, and I'm going to make this an extra thick line because this is a very important level from the overall chart perspective, then I would be looking for the 98.50 region to come after that if the price cannot hold. So I'll make that a different color. As far as resistances go, the key resistance right now is just going to be this orange line. It's been a long time since we've been below the 200-day simple moving average. The last time we were below it was back here almost a year ago. So like I said, it's been quite a long time since the bull or the bears have been able to push the bulls below it. But the good news is we're not that far below it. We're still within striking distance to try to get back above it. So not all hope's not lost, but my confidence will start to get shook, because right now, in the overall chart pattern, I still consider this a short-term pullback. Hopefully it'll be healthy and give us another one of these sorts of moves. But my confidence will get shook a little bit if the price does move below this 98.50 level down here. So that's kind of the key level that I'm watching, and I think that probably a lot of people are watching. I should note we just did go right on the day. We've been all over the place, but that's what the spinning top is. We were down, we were up. Now we're almost back to where we opened up. But we'll have to see what happens. As long as this doesn't all of a sudden turn into a big solid red candle, then that would mean I just wasted my time here. But I'm just banking on right now that we'll get some sort of spinning top or doji candle, which both mean the same thing. So next week will be very interesting and important. Hopefully this 98.50 region will be able to hold up. If there are any other questions on the chart, please let me know. If not, I'd encourage you to check out bullwarriorstocks.com. If you go there and sign up for the free newsletter, you'll be sent a free ebook. And with your newsletter subscription, you'll get chart setups, trade ideas, educational pieces, all sorts of things from penny stocks up to big boards. So there's a good variety, something for everybody, and it's all free. We've been making some good money together, so I'd encourage you to head to the site, sign up, and see what it's all about. One last time, this was the Dow Jones Industrial Average. Thanks for listening, and enjoy your weekend.